Hello there, dear viewer. I was just out here picking mushrooms. Yummy. For this truly is my favorite spot on all of Microdeck to pick my favorite mushroom. My God. Mind keeping it down back there?
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
I've heard news along the grapevine. Well, news from last year that we have a mission in the works that will soon arrive. Amogus. The next big mission promising an exhilarating experience, which positively have the old-timer Star Wars fans soiling their pants in nostalgic excitement, promising them the ability to relive the better days of the 80s with a trench run. Or is that the 70s? That's the 70s. Just like Luke Skywalker himself. Or will it be yet another cool thing for 2 weeks until we get bored and throw it on the pile with the others? Or maybe this mission will usher in a new age of Star Citizen. Why? Come now, and I will tell you.
What the hell is even that?
So as all of us know, or most of us, or maybe even some of us, are currently aware of the Tactical Strike Group's mission that is coming to Star Citizen with a 4.8 patch. That will probably see sometime during the second quarter of this year. You are tasked by the troglodytic organization of Levski, the local space commies, to deal with a problem.
Waving around signs that it is distracting to other comrades. I have autism.
A group of troopers was sent out to deal with a problematic space station and were consequently taken hostage by this unknown force. And you are of course sent to deal with this. My apologies, it's not a space station, it's a space with 3 big arms.
On this, you will have this space where you will find 3 big arms.
You are tasked to go there after having gathered a group of comrades in order to rescue this hostage or hostages. Along the way, you need to take out big space lasers with small lasers so that your big ships can come close to the station. By doing a quite nice looking trench run, which is sure to test the skill of any daring hotshot pilot. Isn't that right, Chris?
Hi, I'm Chris Roberts. Ever since I saw Star Wars as a wide-eyed 8-year-old, I dreamt of being a hotshot pilot saving the galaxy or a lovable rogue making my way across the cosmos.
Though it makes one wonder when you see these wonderful explosions pursue us towards the exit, how the desync is going to affect it. It's always wonderful to see these lovely cinematics they make and then think how it will actually play out when it's in our hands. You must then land upon the station to secure the hostages and kill any hostiles. Very nice of you to tease the fully automatic P8 ARCIG. That is not cool to tease that to us for so long. Come on, give it to me already. Ultimately, the group that holds the station is not very happy that you have come and blown it up, so they charge in with a counterattack to reclaim the station and punish the commie alliance of Levski and the players' group. But hark, for there is yet another group that is interested in this location for an unspecified reason. So if you're not quick enough at bugging out, you will have to tussle with the third party. But more on the Vanduul a bit later. But back to the shields for a moment. I foresee no issues in having these shields in the game whatsoever. Bloody God mode shields if you can't reach the power source. Are some of these features that we are witnessing at the moment things that will eventually worm and work their way into base building, where powerful orgs will have these super weapons to protect their bases? Highly likely in my mind, because of the sheer magnitude of power some ships have. We're going to need this sort of stuff to defend our bases to have any chance, particularly in places like Pyro where they've already teased this sort of shield technology. But still, it is a very interesting thing to take note of.
Buzz-looking alien!
Vanduul are coming, they're gonna come hard, they're gonna keep coming, you're gonna have one hell of a
Oh, the Vanduul ship, what could it be? What could it be? So looking at this wonderful and brief look at the Vanduul ship, it of course got me wondering as to what Vanduul ship that this could be, because I don't quite recognize the front. It seems to be a highly capable and very dangerous Vanduul capital class vessel, as we can see it take out a Polaris in 2 strikes. As it appears, there are some ships in the Vanduul lineup that appear to be of a similar size to this ship. For the sake of supposed fairness, it would track that this ship is somewhere in the ballpark of an Idris. We of course have several candidates due to the size, most of which can clearly be seen during the course of the Squadron 42 gameplay reveal. If this ship is not an entirely new vessel, I believe the two main contenders for the ship that we witnessed during the showcase is either the Vanduul Hunter, which is a corvette, or the Vanduul Mauler, which is considered a cruiser.
I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
Perhaps we could board this vessel and fight actual Vanduulan Star Citizen in FPS, harkening back to the old Xeno threat mission where we got aboard an Idris. It would be a fantastic surprise, and it would be an amazing surprise to finally have Vanduul actually be put into the game. Because like I've said before, until we can directly interact and be face to face with these aliens are not in the game. We have seen them in cockpits, on screens, and we've been able to kidnap their torsos. But finally, we'll hopefully actually get to witness these Xeno scum in the game. Overall, it does appear that CIG is really building up the Vanduul as a new and big threat in the verse, which I am very glad to see because in a universe this big, variety is key.
And speaking of variety...
Again, I love repetition.
Of course, on the cusp of greatness and on the cusp of glory, we are yet again faced with the issue of consistent repetition. Or perhaps in this case, even constant repetition. These missions are of course repeatable, yet I'll bet that no aspect of this mission is ever going to be dynamically changing depending on a set of parameters. Like the number of people that are taking part, what ships are present, or any other aspect. Nor do I believe that the station will dynamically change so that every run isn't the same to keep it fresh. If CIG, say, made these missions modular, where some aspects of the interior or exterior of the station changes procedurally so that you can't necessarily memorize it, because the memorization of these missions kill them off far quicker than they should be. There is always mass interest whenever a new mission drops. Then everyone plays the absolute shit out of them and then they fall off and we are left wondering when the next one drops. And like I've said before, these missions are fantastic and they are a great addition to the game. But CIG is doubling down too hard on these spectacle, fighter and FPS heavy missions that leave the other aspects of the game wanting. Yes, some of these missions include aspects of other game loops in them, but the prerequisite is that you have to go and shoot some shit before you can mine some shit. It'd be nice to see some missions thrown into the wild for, say, miners, where instead of having to do the entirety of Rock Cracker, you can find similar rocks out in space which you can open up with regular space lasers to then be able to fly inside and mine. It would further encourage exploring the vast asteroid belts and add much to the atmosphere of the game. Hell, you could even pull a page from the Book of DayZ and add a crash site, which can only be discovered by the plume of smoke off in the distance which would notify you of its location, which would be a wonderful treat for salvagers. Please, CIG, for the love of God, don't keep falling for the spectacle. Don't forget the mundane. So anyway, who's going to be the first one to completely solo this mission?
Taxi! I need a taxi!
But dear viewer, there is a last point I would like to bring forward to you that maybe some other people have missed, haven't really looked into this much, but I'm going to assume it because of hubris. Could this mission potentially be the first sneaky implementation of passenger gameplay? So here we have a sneaky looking little bit. Because as we can see here, these people are running towards the Paladin for safety and to escape the under attack station. I assume based on what they say during this segment,
now you've got to take a fire team in, you've got to land, you've got to fight through an onslaught of FPS enemies that belong to this unknown faction, and you've got to open a hangar door which will allow you to release captives from the station. After you've opened the doors and that person's taken off, you've just got to make sure they get to safety.
That this is not an AI pilot, but an actual player that takes these people and transports them to safety. And if we assume that this is the case, this could potentially, possibly, or even maybe mean that CIG pertains the particular intentions to prioritize, in a sneaky manner, to implement the passenger gameplay into the verse. Wow. Will this be the first test or implementation of passenger gameplay? Does this mean the Genesis Starliner isn't coming post 1.0? Is it, Chris? It isn't it? As always, thank you all very much for watching. Join the Discord, join the org for fun times if you feel so inclined. Support the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing and all that other cringe shit. If you further wish to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member or by giving some dosh on Ko-Fi. Ta-ta! As always, a stupendous thank you to all my wonderful Vanduul merchantmen, without whom all this content would probably be very improbable indeed. A marvelous and special thanks to my apex fishies of Raptor Jesus, Half-Breed, and Magic. A suspicious thank you to my wonderful Sue-Strummings of Combat Creations, the Duck, Big Kronk, and Davidri. My wonderful exquisite people of the fantastic class of Aifen-Nura and Ignore Me. And a wonderful thank you to my enthusiasts of the Deathbringer 666, Long Yawn, Bloodix, and Monk. Thank you all very much for the money.